So in this video, we're going to talk about how do we add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So we already got really comfortable with simplifying monomials. Now let's see how we can apply all that stuff to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials that are just bigger. So some of them are going to be trinomials, quadrinomials. So we're going to just have more terms now, right? Okay, so in this example, we have two trinomials, and we are going to find the sum. So sum means to add two polynomials. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take 5x squared plus 2x minus 3 and add it to 3x squared plus x minus 1. So adding is pretty simple. It just basically means let's combine like terms. Okay, I have a 5x squared and a 3x squared that I can combine, and that'll give me 8x squared. And then we have a 2x and a positive 1x, so that's just 3x. And then the last thing that we have is this negative 3 and this negative 1. When I combine it, I have negative 4. And this is the most that I can combine, and that's it. We've added the two polynomials. Now let's talk about subtracting. When I'm saying I need to find the difference, I'm going to subtract two polynomials. So for this, you want to be careful because order does matter, right? Subtracting 3 from 10 is different than subtracting 10 from 3. The signs are going to change. So you have to be very careful. Okay, this is saying to subtract 4x squared minus 2x minus 1 from 7x squared minus 5x minus 1. So we're going to put 7x squared minus 5x minus 1 first, because that's what we're subtracting from. That's where we're taking away from. And then this is how much we're taking away. So you want to be careful because I'm taking this away. So that means you want to put parentheses around this polynomial to make sure you're subtracting all of the terms. If you only subtract 4x squared, you're not subtracting the entire polynomial. Okay, now that I have those parentheses and that negative, basically this is going to make sure, so this is going to stay exactly the same, right? But the fact that I am subtracting all the terms, it's basically going to change everybody's signs. So this term is going to become negative 4x squared, this is going to turn into positive 2x, and this is going to turn into a positive 1, because that's how you subtract negatives, you add them. And then now we can go ahead and do the same thing we did before by combining like terms. So I'm going to combine my x squares, and I have 3x squares, and then we're going to combine our x's, and negative 5 plus 2, we're left with negative 3x. And then if you notice here, we have a negative 1 and a positive 1, and those just actually cancel each other out. So we're actually just left with this binomial. So yes, when you subtract two trinomials, you can get a binomial. Stuff can cancel out, and terms can cancel out, and this is basically what happened here. And now let's do our last example, which is going to be to multiply polynomials. So we're going to start pretty simple. So let's talk about how do I multiply a monomial and a polynomial. And in the next class, we're going to get a little bit more advanced with multiplying binomials and things. But right now, we're just going to multiply a monomial by a bigger polynomial, so like a trinomial in this case. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm multiplying 7c by this entire thing. So we need to, I don't know why I wrote 75, should have been 7c by this entire polynomial. So 5 minus 2c squared plus c to the third. Again, remember I'm putting parentheses here because I want to make sure I multiply this entire trinomial by 7c. So this is basically a distributive property. We've done it before. So we're going to distribute the 7c to the 5. So 7c times 5, it's going to be 35c. And then 7c minus 2c squared. So now we're using our rules that we learned about monomials. So 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And then c times c squared is 7 to the third. Okay, and then 7c times c to the third, I'm just going to have 7c to the fourth. I would definitely just rearrange this because if it's a multiple choice question, the highest power is going to come first. So let's rearrange this to 7c to the fourth minus 14c cubed, and then plus 35c at the end. So this just looks better. Okay, and that's about it. So I hope you found this video useful and have taken good notes about operations with polynomials.